In Onitsha market, a woman's zobo tasted irresistible, but each sweet sip pulled crowds closer to vanished children and horror. Watch full video. Before anyone ever suspected her, Ngozi Uda was just another struggling woman in Onitsha, a city that never truly slept. Life had not been kind to her. She grew up in Ochanja, raised by a mother who sold vegetables and a father who disappeared before she turned 10. From childhood, Ngozi learned one lesson early: if you don't hustle, you don't survive. She married young, hoping marriage would rescue her from poverty. Instead, it buried her deeper in it. Her husband died mysteriously after only 3 years, leaving her with debts, mockery from neighbors, and no child to soften the pain. People whispered, but whispers don't feed hunger. Ngozi tried everything, selling roasted corn, ground nuts, even sachet water. Nothing lasted. Every night she slept with an empty stomach and woke with fear pounding in her chest. Fear of rent. Fear of hunger. Fear of dying unnoticed. Then one evening, everything changed. On her way back from Ogboganogo market, rain forced her to take shelter near an old, abandoned shrine behind a collapsed building. As thunder rolled, she noticed an elderly woman sitting calmly inside the shrine, as if the storm didn't exist. The woman called her name. Ngozi. Her heart nearly stopped. She had never seen the woman before. That night marked the beginning of her transformation. Weeks later, Ngozi returned to the market, but this time, not as a beggar or a petty trader. She came with a large cooler and a bright smile. Zobo. Cold zobo. Sweet and fresh, she shouted. At first, people ignored her. Onitsha had hundreds of zobo sellers. But one man tasted it, and froze. This is the best zobo I've ever tasted, he said. Within minutes, a small crowd gathered. By noon, her cooler was empty. From that day on, Ngozi's zobo became a market sensation. People traveled from Upper Iwika, main market, even as far as Asaba just to drink her zobo. Some swore it cured their headaches. Others said it gave them strange energy. Pregnant women craved it desperately. Men fought over the last cup. But something was wrong. Those who drank it often returned, again and again, unable to stop. Some complained of strange dreams. Others said they heard whispers at night, calling their names softly, lovingly. And Ngozi? She was changing too. Her once tired eyes now glowed faintly red at night. Her skin looked younger. Her steps lighter. Money flowed into her hands effortlessly. Yet, every evening, after the market closed, she locked herself inside her room and nobody ever saw her cook the zobo. No firewood smoke. No boiling pots. No hibiscus leaves drying in the sun. Only silence. Then one morning, a young girl who helped fetch water for Ngozi went missing. The same morning, Ngozi arrived at the market smiling wider than ever, her cooler fuller than usual. As people rushed toward her stall, a thin drop of dark liquid slowly leaked from under the cooler and stained the dusty ground beneath her feet. Ngozi quickly wiped it with her wrapper and laughed. "Don't worry," she said softly. "It's just zobo." From across the market, an old herbalist stared at her, his face pale, his hands trembling. Because he knew that smell. And it was not zobo. It was blood. The old herbalist's name was Babagburugburu, a man who had lived in Onitsha long enough to know that evil rarely announced itself loudly. It always hid behind sweetness. He watched as people rushed Ngozi's stall, pushing, laughing, begging. "Auntie, give me 2 cups. Save one for me, I'm coming back. Madam Ngozi, your zobo is heaven." Babagburugburu covered his nose with his wrapper. That metallic scent clung to the air, faint, but unmistakable. Blood that had been mixed with herbs. Blood that had been prepared. His eyes followed Ngozi's hands. They were clean. Too clean. No cuts. No stains. Yet her fingers trembled slightly as she collected money. That night, Babagburugburu followed her. Ngozi did not go home immediately. Instead, she walked past Fetch, crossed a narrow path behind a broken fence, and entered an abandoned compound everyone avoided. The gate creaked open by itself, as if expecting her. Inside, the compound was colder than the outside air. She unlocked her room and dragged the cooler inside. Babak Burigburu hid behind a mango tree and whispered incantations under his breath. Through the cracked window, he saw something that made his knees weaken. Ngozi knelt on the floor and opened the cooler. Inside were bottles of deep red liquid. Thicker than normal zobo. Darker. Alive. She picked one up and poured it into a large pot already waiting on the floor. Then she took a small blade from under her bed. She didn't hesitate. She cut her arm. Blood dripped into the pot, but it wasn't enough. She frowned. "Not enough," she whispered. From the corner of the room, something moved. A shadow rose, tall and thin, its voice sounding like many people speaking at once. "You have eaten well, Ngozi. But the market wants more." Ngozi bowed her head. "I will bring another tomorrow." The next day, the market buzzed with strange news. 2 people collapsed after drinking zobo, but instead of dying, they woke up hours later stronger, angrier, restless. One man attacked his wife for no reason. Another ran naked through Upper Iwika, screaming that something was burning inside him. Still, people kept buying. Even those who swore they would stop found themselves walking back to Ngozi's stall, as if pulled by invisible ropes. Meanwhile, children began disappearing. First, a boy who hawked pure water. Then, a girl sent to buy tomatoes. Then, a beggar who slept near the drainage. Each time someone vanished, Ngozi's cooler seemed bigger. Her smile wider. Her eyes darker. One afternoon, Amaka, a young journalist from Aukar, came to the market to investigate the disappearances. She noticed something strange. Ngozi never drank her own zobo. "Madam," Amaka asked casually, holding up her recorder, "why don't you taste it? People say it's the best." Ngozi's smile froze for half a second. "I don't like cold drinks," she replied. That night, Amaka broke into Ngozi's compound. What she found there would change Onitsha forever. And somewhere in the darkness, the shadow laughed, because the city was already drinking itself into doom. Amaka's heart pounded as she slipped through the broken gate of the abandoned compound. The moon hung low over Onitsha, its pale light barely touching the ground, as if even it was afraid of what lived there. She moved quietly, recorder in her pocket, phone camera ready. The door to Ngozi's room was slightly open. A low humming sound drifted out, slow, rhythmic, almost like a lullaby. Amaka leaned closer and peeped inside. She nearly screamed. The walls were lined with bottles, dozens of them, each filled with dark red liquid. Symbols were drawn on the floor with chalk and something darker. Something that looked like dried blood. In the center of the room sat a large pot, gently bubbling though there was no fire under it. Ngozi stood over it, chanting softly. Suddenly, the humming stopped. Ngozi turned her head sharply. "I know you are there," she said calmly. Amaka's legs felt weak, but she stepped inside anyway. "Where are the missing people?" she demanded, forcing courage into her voice. Ngozi laughed, a soft, tired laugh that sounded nothing like madness. "You think I enjoy this?" Ngozi asked. "Do you know what hunger does to a person in this city? Do you know what it means to be invisible?" From the shadows behind her, the air began to thicken. The same shadow Babak Burigburu had seen slowly revealed itself again, its shape shifting, stretching across the walls. "She made a bargain," the thing said. "And the city accepted it." Amaka backed away. "Your kill." Ngozi shook her head violently. "I don't kill. I collect. The city gives them to me. Desperation brings them. Greed keeps them drinking." Outside, the market was still alive, people laughing, arguing, sipping zobo under flickering bulbs, unaware that something ancient had woven itself into their thirst. The shadow moved closer to Amika. You came to expose her, it whispered. But truth is also a sacrifice. At that exact moment, loud knocks hit the gate. Open this place. A voice shouted. It was Babagburug, this time, not alone. He had come with other herbalists, their bodies marked with white chalk, cowries tied around their wrists. The air outside vibrated with power. Ngozi screamed. You said they wouldn't find me. The shadow hissed angrily, retreating into the walls. The market is no longer enough, it said. If they stop the drinking, we will take something greater. Suddenly, all over Onitsha, people drinking Ngozi's zobo felt a sharp pain in their chests at the same time. Some dropped their cups. Some clutched their heads. Some smiled strangely, and kept drinking. As Babagburug's men broke down the gate, Ngozi fell to her knees, crying, not in fear, but in regret. Because she knew the truth. Even if she was stopped. The city had already tasted it. And Onitsha would never be the same again. The gate finally gave way with a loud crash. Babagburug and the herbalists rushed in, chanting loudly, their voices clashing with the unnatural silence inside the compound. The symbols on the floor began to crack, like dry earth under fire. Bottles started shaking, some bursting, splashing dark red liquid across the walls. Ngozi screamed. Stop! You don't understand what you're doing. The shadow rose one last time, bigger than before, filling the room, its voice now furious. You cannot undo hunger. You cannot undo desire. This city invited me. Babagburug stepped forward, his voice steady. Maybe so. But every invitation can be rejected. He smashed a calabash on the ground. A blinding white light exploded through the room. The pot cracked in two. The liquid inside screamed, not boiled, not hissed, screamed, and evaporated into black smoke. Ngozi collapsed. Outside, across Onitsha, people holding cups of zobo suddenly dropped them. Some vomited. Some fainted. Some cried without knowing why. The strange hunger vanished as suddenly as it had come, leaving only confusion and fear behind. When the smoke cleared, the shadow was gone. Ngozi sat on the floor, older now, her youth drained, her hair grey, her eyes hollow. She looked at Amika with tears running down her face. I wanted to live, she whispered. I didn't know it would cost this much. The missing children were later found alive, but weak, hidden in abandoned places across the city, as if whatever had taken from them had been forced to return what it could. Ngozi was taken away before dawn. Some said she confessed everything. Others said she went mad and spoke only to empty cups. The authorities sealed the compound, but people still avoided that street, even in daylight. Amika published her story. Most people laughed it off. Some said it was exaggeration. Others said it was impossible. But in Onitsha main market, to this day, whenever someone sells zobo that is too red, too sweet, too tempting, old women shake their heads. Herbalists sniff the air carefully. And mothers pull their children closer. Because they remember. And because deep down, everyone knows the truth. Not everything sweet is safe. And sometimes, a city's greatest danger is its thirst. If you know you love this story, kindly like and subscribe. Share and you'll receive an unexpected miracle this week.